Today's episode of the Just Keep Swimming podcast is brought to you by Audible. Audible is an online audiobook and podcast service offering over 10,000 books and the ability to listen to your favorite podcasts, including the Just Keep Swimming podcast. I personally use Audible all the time and suggest you take a listen to Intentional Living by John C. Maxwell. In this book, Mr. Maxwell shares his story on how he was able to live a noble and purposeful life and gives you tips and tricks so you can do the same. So please start your 30-day free trial now at www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast, all lowercase. Again, that is www.audibletrial.com/JKS podcast. And if you have any more questions or concerns for the Just Keep Swimming podcast, you're always welcome to reach out to us on Facebook or at Instagram at justskeepswimming_podcast, or you can email us at jkspodcast702@gmail.com. And with that out the way, let's dive into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your friend, your boy, your host, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we back at it again with another great episode for you. And you already know who I got with me. It's the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mr. 13, dropping hot beats for the city, so make sure you guys check out his new projects that he's always working on. He's always has some new fire for you guys. So for today's episode, I just want to do a quick message to the listener, and I wanted to talk about something that I kind of been thinking about recently, and I kind of call this expand your horizon. So I feel that there's a lot of times where we're stuck in like one rut, or we only try to learn one thing, and I think that we all have to learn to learn multiple things about multiple trades or multiple crafts or multiple whatever the case may be. One of my favorite lines growing up, it used to scar me, but then once I heard the full version of it, it actually makes me feel a lot better. One of my favorite lines was always, never be a jack of all trades is a master of none. And that right there used to always make me feel bad because, I am what I consider a jack of a lot of trades. I know how to fix cars, I know how to cook, I know how to clean, I know how to do math, I'm good with science, I can play video games, I can play sports, I can do a lot of different things. But then I always felt that I'm a master of nothing though. Like I can't say that, but I am a master in this field right here. And I think that's one thing that I always thought used to hold me back. But then I heard the true saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than a master of one. And I think that saying really stuck with me because there are a lot of people that they only master one thing and they don't ever try to go and learn other things, or at least become a semi-master at other things. And one thing that always popped in my mind, for example, is, what if you work at a restaurant and the chef can only make breakfast? He can't make lunch, he can't make dinner, he's only good at breakfast, and that's all he can master. Well, that chef isn't the best chef for you because he's not flexible enough. He doesn't know enough variety for you to step up into other aspects of life, because a lot of times breakfast runs into lunch. A lot of times, some restaurants, they do breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day long, such as IHOP. And it's like, bro, if you're only good at breakfast, then you're not effective for the whole team. So, I suggest that we go out and start to learn more, start to expand our horizons on multiple things. And I kind of feel that will help us in life. My first example of this idea actually came from my high school football coach. So when the season wasn't in play, we all play football, but then when the season wasn't in play, he highly recommended, almost forced us, but of course he couldn't force us, but he highly recommended that we all go out and play a different sport. Go out there and play basketball, because basketball is going to still help you with teamwork. It's going to keep you in shape. It's going to help your footwork, and it's going to help your jumping as well, because there's a lot of jumping that takes place in basketball. If you don't make the basketball team, go wrestle. You should be wrestling, because wrestling is going to help with your balance. It's going to help with your up close and personal contacts that you make in football. For linebackers, it's going to help you tackle people. It's going to help you learn to wrap up easier and be more in control of your body. When those seasons were in, when track season was in, he highly recommended everybody run track. If you're playing football with me this year, you need to be running track, because I need you to practice your speed. I need you to get your running down. I need you to get your breathing together. I need you to learn how to run correctly, because when you come back to the football season at the beginning of next year, the basketball, jumping, and footwork is going to help you become a better running back and wide receiver. The wrestling is going to help you be a better lineman, linebacker, better, stronger safety. The track is going to just make you faster in all aspects of life. And you have to, learn to go and start doing different things to really get that aspect together of, me learning multiple trades or learning different skills can actually come back and help me out in this skill right here. I actually listened to I can't tell you the actor that was talking, but I want to say it was a guy that plays Captain America. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Please forgive me. But he talks about how, he does multiple roles to gear up for main roles. He does comedy. He does drama. He does roles when he's real goofy, and then he does roles when he's a freaking superhero Captain America. You know what I'm saying? But he always talks about how playing all those other roles really helped him be a better Captain America, because he can throw in the comic when it feels like it's needed. He knows when to turn on the seriousness. He knows when it's suspenseful. He knows how to play different parts. Even though it's only one role he's playing, he can take the skills that he learned from the other roles and throw it in. I always think about Mr. 13. Shout out my amazing co-host. He he makes beats, yes, but at the end of the day, you can't just make beats and not be low-key tech savvy in some way. What would that look like if all you know how to do was to use the beat program, but you wouldn't know how to reset a computer or how to recover files, or who knows what else it takes in, how to plug up stuff correctly and where things are supposed to go. You can't be a great producer if you don't know how to even set up your own equipment. Yes, you know how to use the equipment, but if you don't know how to set up equipment, then that's just hindering you and making you less valuable. And it's like, oh, he's only good for one thing, So I highly suggest that we learn to learn multiple skills, because you never know where the new skills can come back and help you out in something that's old. Learning to communicate better with your boss can come back to learning to communicate better with your spouse, or vice versa. Giving back to the kids can possibly bring on that childish energy that you need to bring into work to keep the team motivated. Learning about how to cook this type of meal is going to help you master your grandma's classical meal that you learn. Yes, I learned how to make my grandma's mac and cheese, but then now I started learning about all the natural ingredients such as peppers and onions and your spinach and your broccolis, and it's like, oh, I can probably learn to incorporate this with something that my grandma taught me, and then boom, now I just created something brand new of my own, using my experience and history to just mold me into something new, to create something new that I would never thought of creating. So yeah, I highly suggest that we go out there and we just continue to expand our horizon, and that's with all aspects of life. Movies. Don't just watch a comedy movie. Watch a romance movie. Watch some thrillers. Watch a scary movie. You know what I'm saying? Because when you watch those movies, sometimes you'll go back and they'll make that comedy movie a little 2 times funnier, because now the suspense feeling they were trying to make you feel, or that scary feeling they were trying to make you feel. You can't be a sports guy and just watch only one sport. Yes, you can, but after a while, if you don't only talk about basketball, what else can you talk about? You should know a little bit about football, a little bit about baseball, a little bit about hockey, a little bit what's going on in your city. So you can at least just have your basic conversations, the little conversations, on how things work, or just spread the little knowledge that you may have. And I also believe that, learning different things also helps widen our perspective. A lot of times we always assume that my way is the right way. But until you learn to start thinking outside of the box and expanding your horizon, you don't ever really learn to start looking at things in a different way. You know, once you expand your horizon and start to learn more about a certain person, you start to see why they make the certain decisions that they made, you know. But if you never take the step to expand your horizon, you'll never be able to learn to see that other person's perspective and relate to them on a whole different level, on a higher level that you never related with them before. So I hope all that stuff makes sense for you guys. That's something I'm personally learning right now. You know, I can't just sit back and just, you know, prime example, religion. I can't just sit here and listen to one religion and say that this religion is the right religion, because there's so many religions in the world. But the more that I learn about more religions and how they affect the people, I learn how to be a better human in multiple aspects of the world, and how to just be more comfortable about other type of people that I'm usually not comfortable with, you know. And I feel that helps me relate better, that helps me see others' perspectives, that helps me connect a lot better with other people, and it just keeps me growing and keeps me on my toes and lets me know that I don't know everything. I never will know everything. I'll never know everything. I can know a lot with a certain subject, but at the same time, I need to learn more about other subjects, because I can possibly bring it back to this subject and make it work. I'm gonna leave it on this right here. My homie Dre said this to me a long time ago, and when he broke it down, I was like deep. So he was like, running a business is like pimping. And I was like, where are you going with this? He's like, well, you know, you gotta think about it. Like, no matter what business you do, you're gonna need product. You're gonna need to learn how to sell the product, get the product to the customer, and you learn how to get paid for the product, you know. And he was like, you know, it's the same thing as a pimping game, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go out there, you gotta find you some hoes to sell, you gotta learn how to, where to market it at, where the right people to be at, and then after that, you learn how to get your money from these people that want to buy the product that you have to offer, you know. And that works with everything. That works with pimping, that works with selling t-shirts, that works with selling juices, works with offering life services plans, all works with everything, you know. It's relating. And, you know, when he said that, I was like, wow, I never thought those two things relate that way, being that one seems good and one seems bad, but they relate. They all go together. So, yeah, people, that's one of my suggestions for this week. Let's try to expand our knowledge, expand our horizon. You know, let's learn something new, watch something you probably would never watch, try to eat something you may have never eaten before, you know, try some new flavors. You never know, that one Indian flavor that is gonna come back and like, you know what, this would be bomb on some ribs, and now you got some soul food Indian fusion going on and you selling out the block, you know. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope that helped you guys out today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you already know how to reach out to us. You always can hit me up at jkspodcast702@gmail.com or the IG or Facebook page. Hope you guys had a wonderful day, a marvelous afternoon, a splendid evening, and remember to just keep swimming.